At this year's edition of the 12 Hours of Sebring, Pipo Derani had a massive crash, where his number 31 Cadillac hit the wall and flipped upside down. So in this video, I'll talk about all the details regarding this scary crash. And while I think it was a big incident, I also think that it changed the outcome of this 12-hour endurance race. Heading into this event, I don't think anyone expected to see the race-leading Cadillac upside down on the side barriers. This truly was a frightening incident, because the number 31 Cadillac went into the wall so hard that it went upside down. And first and foremost, we have to address the fact that the driver is okay. Pipo Derani was able to jump out of the car eventually. However, the door was stuck, so it took some time for him to do so. Miraculously, the Brazilian driver was unhurt, and after being cleared from the medical center, he spoke with NBC Sports. His words are as followed. Dallara and Cadillac built a strong car. It's one of those days when all of a sudden, things go upside down, literally. I'm glad I'm okay. Just a shame because we had a very strong car. The Wheeling Engineering V Series R was going strong, and as you can see there, not much I could have done. The wall came up pretty quick. The moment I was heading to the wall, I knew the race was over. Derani's comments are valid and highlight how good of a job Cadillac and Dallara have done. I also want to give a special shout out to the AMR safety crew, who were quick on the scene. Now before I take a closer look and analyze this crazy incident, I want to take a step back, because before heading into this race, Cadillac looked really strong, and the manufacturer to beat in the 12-hour endurance race. Pipo Derani in the number 31 Wheeling Engineering Cadillac would start on pole position, with Sebastian Bourdais in the 01 Chip Ganassi Cadillac starting in second. And even though it was the number 10 Konica Minolta WTR Acura that went fastest overall in qualifying but just got disqualified, the two Cadillacs would lock out the front row for the 72nd edition of Sebring. Derani got a great start and led the field away. The number 31 Wheeling Engineering Cadillac would go on to lead the majority of the race, in the hands of drivers Derani, Aitken, and Blomqvist. And while there's no denying that this car did have competition, and other entries such as the 01 CGR Cadillac and the number 7 Porsche Penske did take turns leading overall, this car, the number 31 Cadillac, was definitely the car to beat. And considering that it did win the 12 Hours of Sebring overall last year, it was definitely in a good position to take the win. Just before the crash happened, Pipo Derani was in the car and was in first position overall. He built up a 12-second gap to the number 7 Porsche Penske, which was in second place. So at this point in the race, this number 31 Cadillac was in a very strong position. But as we know, things completely changed. So let's get into the actual crash now. The initial contact, which resulted in the Cadillac having this crazy accident, was caused between the number 31 Cadillac and a slower GT Ferrari. This was the number 21 AF Corsa entry. Derani was trying to maneuver his way around the slower GT traffic, but unfortunately, contact was made between the back right of the Cadillac and the front left of the Ferrari, which inevitably sent the Cadillac into a fast spin towards the tire barrier. The head-on collision into the tire wall was so heavy that the Cadillac V Series R briefly went airborne and landed upside down on top of the tire wall and barrier. Now, of course, the first thought is the driver's safety, and like I said before, thankfully Pipo Derani was okay. But he did need to wait some time for the car to be pulled out before he could eventually get out of the car. But then, of course, there was the fact that this Action Express Racing Cadillac started on pole position, led the majority of the race, had a 12-second gap to the second place car, which was a Porsche 963, and now, after all that hard work, the car was out after this horrific crash. And this crash wasn't just heartbreaking for Cadillac and Action Express Racing, but the drivers as well, and Pipo Derani, who was looking to achieve his 5th overall victory at Sebring. And if he did so, he would become the second most successful driver at the 12 Hours of Sebring, just behind the legend himself, Tom Christensen. But when thinking about this crash, the most important thing was that driver Pipo Derani was unhurt. And I can't help but think, what if that tire barrier wasn't there? So I gotta hand it to the Sebring Raceway organizers, who thought of safety. And I do think it's true that this crash affected the outcome of this race, because that number 31 Cadillac was in a very good position to win this thing. Because imagine if this crash didn't happen for this Cadillac V Series R. Would we be looking at a different result to this year's 12 Hours of Sebring? What did you think about this massive crash for Cadillac Racing and Pipo Derani? I, for one, am grateful to see Derani out of the car, and also heartbroken that this Cadillac entry's race ended this way. Well, as always, let me know all your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, I highly suggest you do so, considering I make endurance racing content mainly on WEC and IMSA every single week. And if you want to see another video, check out the options on the screen. So for now, that's it from me. I'll see you all in the next video.